Hi everyone, Nate here with the Disc Store, back for another episode of This Disc is Great with, well, not Steve, I'm with Steve. Anthony Vander something. How do you actually pronounce your last name?
It's technically Vanden Heuvel.
Vanden Heuvel?
Vander something.
Close enough.
It's close.
Alright, so this is episode 48 of This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate. We're doing the Dynamic Discs Maverick, but we'll get into that in just a second. We are live at the Dynamic Disc Distribution Center in Emporia, Kansas for the Glass Blown Open. We're super excited to be joining you guys from there. We'll do some cool videos. Speaking of, we have an event coming up tomorrow at New Life Christian Church. We're doing a Flex Start Superclass event. If you guys are unfamiliar with what Superclass is, that is disc golf with old school ultimate discs for the most part. You can find a list of those on the PGA website. But if you didn't bring one with you, you can get a free aviator with your entry, so you don't have to worry about bringing them. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys out there. We're out there 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow. Anthony, so what do you do here at Dynamic Discs if the viewers haven't seen you before?
I do media stuff. So if you know Bobby Brown, which all of them probably do, I do sort of similar to a little fraction of what he does. He is far busier than me and does a lot of stuff here. So I do a lot of the Instagram stuff, a lot of Snapchat, Facebook, stuff like that, and then also like all the in the bags and the course previews for GBO and stuff like that. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pretty much if you see us online, there's a good chance it was either me, Bobby, or now Danny.
Yeah, you guys picked up Danny Lindahl. That's cool. I saw him out at Peter Pan today.
Yeah.
Which that was wet and cold and not fun.
We're getting it out of the way early
but it's GBO.
We're getting
it's
it out of the way early.
I'm glad to be here playing disc golf. But yeah, speaking of course previews, if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out the Cottonwood Falls preview that Evan and I shot with Eric and Denise, especially if you're playing intermediate, the age-protected divisions, or women's. All those three divisions are playing out at Cottonwood Falls. We had a fun time shooting that round.
Yep.
Eric plays super hot, and I have like 3 or 4 really good shots.
He's pretty good.
Anyway, so if you guys have not seen the show before, well, it's normally Steve, but he's back in Omaha while we're here in GBO, so Anthony's filling in for us. But we do disc review show once a week. We take the discs out, chuck them a bunch of times in the field so that we can find out how they fly. Basically, this show started because Steve and I got tired of people coming into the store and be like, well, what does this new disc fly like? And having to look at it and be like, I don't know.
And now you get to try out
exactly. I didn't have to pay for it.
Let's go.
So like that's the whole reason we do the show. But we also want to show you guys how they fly. So this week, this is episode 48. We've been doing this a while, almost a full 50 episodes. We have the Dynamic Discs Maverick. So we figured at GBO we might as well do a DD disc while we're here.
Thank you.
The Maverick is one of my favorite new discs to throw, so we're going to get into that. Anthony, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Maverick?
The Maverick is one of your favorite new discs to throw, but I gotta say the Maverick is my favorite new disc to throw. This, I don't know what it is about this disc, but I feel like I just can't have a bad shot with it. It's kind of a straight to understable fairway driver depending on your arm speed. And some of our fairway drivers are a little bit faster, where this one is a little bit on the slower side of your typical fairway driver speed range. It is a fairly glidey disc as well. The numbers, I don't know if you guys are big on numbers. I know Bobby and us here, we're not typically big on numbers.
We got to at least give the people an idea.
Sure. So it's a speed 7, glide of 4, turn of -1.5, and a fade of 2.
Ish.
All that. Yeah. I'd say the 7, I think, is spot on, and the turn of 1.5, I think, are spot on. For me, I think it glides really well.
Yeah.
So I would say the glide is like a 5 or maybe even a 6. I think this thing has a ton of glide. Maybe that's just me. The turn of -1.5, I definitely agree with. It definitely has a good amount of turn. And I would almost say the fade is almost like a 1.
It's kind of, I'd say especially on the burst. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The bursts don't have quite as much fade as the Lucid does, but it's, I'd almost say 1.5 since DD does the 0.5s. But it kind of depends. Like it's somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, it's, for me, what I'll typically throw this shot for, or this disc, is a kind of a hyzer flip shot that I want to just go straight, or if I really put some power onto it, it'll almost fade right, which is a really weird thing. I've had like beat up putters where you can kind of get that shot where it'll just that slow turn and you think it's about to start fading out and then it just fades the other way, and it's one of those really weird flights. But I've never had a new disc do that.
Yeah.
Usually it takes beating something up for a year, 2 years, a really long time, and then you got to hit it with just that perfect amount, that right snap, nice and smooth. But yeah, the Maverick for me, I don't know, it just clicks with me. I feel like I'll throw a bad shot, and the disc will just, hey, let me go this way for you, man, and it just works. So, awesome disc. I really like it a lot.
Go ahead and edit that down. Yeah. So I'm loving this, and I'll spoiler alert. I actually bagged 2 of these, and
okay.
From the first 3 or 4 throws of these, I was like, okay, I need this in my bag. And it's money. It does a lot of different things. Evan's getting the video edited up for us so we can make sure you see the right stuff.
Something's a little
It's
large.
the sizing on the OBS.
On the OBS?
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
Hey,
Sweet. There we are.
Let's go, Evan.
All right. So this thing does a lot. I use it for the same kind of things. Like I'll throw it on a pretty steep hyzer. It flips up to flat and just goes straight. So I throw it on a lot of tunnel shots. Where places where like similar to what I use like an archer. You guys have heard me talk about the Archer or the Tremor before. Same thing, if I can't put a full power shot on it, it can still fly pretty straight. Or if I really rip on it, it does those long turnovers. Let's just get into videos and we'll see how some of this has been flying. But before we go too far, Kyle Forrest says they've come a long way with these episodes. Love the intro, outro. So Reeser, thanks for
Kyle Forrest says,
us up.
is it a coincidence you guys wear the same color shirt?
It actually is.
100%.
That was not planned. I had a different Distor polo on, but I got soaked today, so I had to change clothes and be dry. All right, let's.
Well, who wants to see some throws?
Yeah.
Starts off with.
I want to see some.
Let's start with you, I think. Let's
Really?
see.
It's not the traditional Steve Power hyzer?
I'm thinking it's. Oh, maybe it is.
No, that's definitely me.
Whoa.
So this day, Anthony, so the ones that are going this direction, we had probably a 15-ish mile-an-hour headwind. Steve would have told you it was like a 30-mile-an-hour headwind, but it's like a 15-mile-an-hour headwind. So I'm not putting everything into these, knowing it's kind of flippy.
Sure.
Which, before we go too far, what other... So I don't know how much you know about other companies' discs since you work here, how much you're allowed to say. But just what are some other discs you think this compares to out of the Trilogy lineup, or just any other discs that are out there for the people?
What I've heard people compare it to is kind of like a leopard type disc. Really, any of the slower speed fairway drivers, lots of glide, not super flippy. I've heard the FD from Discmania as well.
Yeah.
But I think the unique thing about this is, at least for us and Latitude and Westside, we really didn't have anything like this in our lineup.
Yeah.
The most similar thing would be probably a Thief, but even
I've heard
then,
the River.
Okay, I could see that, but I feel like the River still is a little bit more understable.
Yeah.
And the Maverick, it could just be, okay, I might go off on a tangent here, so stop me if you want me to.
It's okay.
But it's the most unique thing about this disc is the slowness of its turn. Which is not a thing I've ever said before, but it's like the Thief, it flips really quick, and you throw it and it just wants to get over. But the Maverick, it just slowly and gently works its way over. But yeah, I think as far as other companies, kind of in that leopard-ish range.
We
sure. I
have a
definitely
few
think
shots that actually do that.
Yeah, I like the Leopard's a really good comparison. I think it's got a touch more, I think it's the Leopard with more fade is what I've been comparing it to. Is the Leopard with a little bit more fade. So for me, it's a little more controllable. But so like right here, that's coming out on a pretty good hyzer angle. That's flipping up to flat and just kind of holding it. It's not turning over. So most things on that big of a hyzer are definitely going to be fading out the whole way. So this is flipping up and just pretty straight fade. Almost no fade on the end of that at all. Again, into that headwind.
Yeah,
Be real careful about that. So this is crosswind. So we had another headwind this day from the other hole, so we flipped the directions.
Look at that. Just straight. It's just straight.
Yep.
With a little air bounce.
Like, yeah, wind all over the place. And it's so weird for an understable disc to do that. You just wouldn't expect that at all.
So, again, we've got a little bit of a left to right crosswind, so this might have flipped a little more for Steve if it was calm, but it's fighting that wind and ending up dead straight, which is a lot what you want a fairway driver to do a lot of times. And 320 on a hyzer, that's about where me and Steve are always going to come out at. I max out around like 450 on like max distance power drives with, say, a Captain. Shrike, actually, but Captain's closest thing to that with DD. But yeah, and Steve's kind of fairly similar, so we're getting 320, 350 out of our fairway drivers normally, just for reference for everybody. Oh, which somebody made a good point. If you guess the farthest backhand distance, you are going to win that special edition Maverick that Anthony's holding.
It's kind of like a pink lemonade,
yeah,
bursty.
The burst special, cool. And that's the X blend, right? So it's a little flexier than normal stuff. So in general, that one is going to be a little more understable than the Lucid ones. Not a lot, but just a little bit. You notice. I'm also going to give away the Sweet Latitude shirt from the GVO Players Pack. Also the Spring Fling Players Pack, so I have 2 of them. I don't need both of them. One of you's going to get it. Comment with your shirt size to win the shirt, and somebody who has the right size.
Somebody.
And then this one will go to somebody who makes me laugh at some point through the video.
Challenge accepted.
Here's Nate's hyzer
Yep.
flip.
So this is the shot I use. This is what I use this disc for a lot.
Yeah.
Just that slight little hyzer, thrown hard, it flips up to flat, carries out, and 371 with a fairway driver is getting out there
That's
for me.
far.
This thing glides like no other. But like for similar, like a river or a leopard tends to turn a little bit more for me. This does have that little bit of fade at the end where I can pop it hard on a hyzer,
Yep.
flip up to flat, get that little bit of flex, but it is going to come back.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Mm-hmm. That one's getting some flip.
Whoa.
Yep. Again, this is that headwind day, but
Okay.
so that flipped up and did flip all the way over,
Yeah.
but it's not burning out.
No.
Like that's
I've never
that's
had it.
That's the thing that like this is flippy, but it's not like I haven't turned it into a roller on accident yet.
Yeah.
But that's especially in the headwind. That's a solid flight for an ununderstable disc.
Mm-hmm.
This does turnovers really well.
Yeah.
Like, it's really controlled turnovers super
Yeah.
well.
That one looked like it had some power in it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more.
It's still fading though. It still had a little fade.
Just enough. 380? Dang.
Yeah, like
Go.
I said, these things go.
Yeah.
Like this hole, I usually throw a strike on this hole,
Okay.
and where those guys are standing is about where I normally land one of those, and that's only like
It's not much
30
farther.
feet farther than where that just landed, at most. And so, like,
Yeah.
I'm throwing. This is a 7-speed driver that I'm throwing the same place I'm putting my 13 speeds. So this thing just goes. Again, see that was the burst one. So it's a touch flippier, but it came out of that. Like took
Yeah.
that power, flipped up, rode right, and just faded right on out. That's a nice, super pretty flight.
Here's the blue one.
Yeah, this is the blue one. This had a lot more. This is me just trying to throw it as
wow.
hard as I could.
Smash.
Dang.
And again, I max out at
Hey,
450.
Calm
at
down, man.
most.
It's a fairway driver.
Yeah.
Relax.
This thing
Wow.
goes forever. Like honestly, like what I would compare this to is a mini Shrike or a mini Captain.
Sure.
I need to throw the Captain a little more. We're going to review that in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the shorter version of that. This has got a similar flight path, but has that nice turn, but does have that fade at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Super solid disc.
Yeah.
That's
This is
like a
again
nice
into that
turn.
headwind, not quite as closer to flat. So if this has the headwind on it, or you overpower it, or you do throw. When I throw it flat, it does hold that ante the whole way.
Yeah.
But again, it's a controlled Anheuser. It's not like
yeah.
burning into a roller.
You would think with like a 10, 15 mile an hour headwind, like you said, at that angle, you would expect it to just flip over, dump, cut, roll out at like 200 feet. But it just held that smooth turn.
And this is on an actual Anheuser angle,
Okay.
and it's just going to hold that the whole way. Again, little left wind's pushing that, but I can use this for a lot of controlled Anheisers. And this is actually a roller.
Oh, so
Okay.
roll it back. Sorry, I had to.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Yeah, and this is the wind's pushing it over a little hard. But I'm loving these for shorter,
Wow, that's far.
shorter distance rollers.
Really? 295?
Yeah.
I
so
thought that went way far.
It,
That-
kinda
I think
that
it
looked
would
like it
have.
was going.
It's 295 straight, but it's probably like 70 feet right. So had that rolled straight, it probably would have been like 320, 340.
Okay.
But I mean, I put these down, and they just go straight. Like
Yeah.
they roll straight forever. Love these things for roll. Have you thrown rollers with these yet?
I've tried. My roller game is weak. I'll be nice and call it weak. So I usually only use really understable stuff that I don't have to knife it way over. I can kind of throw it on like a baby Anheuser and just let it work itself down. But yeah, if I were trying to throw rollers, this would definitely be the fairway that I threw them with for
Yeah.
sure.
For me, it's got enough stability that it doesn't just roll out super soon.
Yeah.
This one's a little better without the wind. See, it's just rolling that super straight line.
Super straight. Yeah.
I didn't quite get that one all the way up on angle,
Uh-huh.
but again, For those low ceiling shots where I like to use this, 354 on a roller. Anything farther than that on a roller, I'm throwing a Shrike anyway. So like, I like this disc a lot for that. There's a couple holes at Seymour Smith that I throw rollers on where I was having to like power down on a Shrike to not go into the creek, and like powering down on a roller isn't the easiest thing to do.
Easy, not with a high-speed driver.
Yeah,
no.
so
this line was really hard to draw. So honestly, I couldn't follow it. The disc was the same color.
that's half the reason we don't usually throw rollers on this show, is because the line, especially that color against the grass, is really hard to see.
Yeah.
That was that Maverick, and so it's tough.
Also, flicks too.
Yeah, we'll get to the flicks here in just a second. But yeah, I love this disc as a roller disc. Like if I didn't throw it for anything else, I would keep it in the bag for short distance controlled rollers.
Okay.
Super easy, super straight, easiest disc to roll I've ever had. If you want to learn rollers, try Maverick.
Heard it here first.
So this isn't this typical disc I would reach for a sidearm. I typically want something more stable, but for some touchy sidearms, it works out okay.
This thing makes me feel like I'm Jeremy Coling. Because, so you played Peter Pan this morning, right?
Yep.
You know, hole 3, it's kind of a... It shapes perfectly for a backhand hyzer with a little bit of a skip left. I threw the best sidearm shot of my entire life with one of these.
Yeah.
A little turnover?
Just like a hyzer flip, and it just kind of stood up, and it flew exactly the same as a backhand, and it just kind of straight... and then just kind of faded left, and I had like a 15-footer.
I feel those could teach people that don't know how to throw forehand hyzers. That could teach them.
That's exactly what I've been using it for. Yeah, because
Yeah.
usually I'm the same way. I'll take like a Fallon or something and just throw it hard, and it'll come out wobbly and go 300 feet. But with this, just give it a little bit of hyzer, and it...
Yeah, when you say Jeremy Coling, that... I feel like he wants this disc in it. So the little touchy flicks he does in the woods,
the other day.
I feel
he
like
definitely does.
this would be the disc that he would do that with the best.
Yes.
I'm sure he's probably got leopards in the bag for that, but
yeah, but it's not
this is better, honestly.
Wait, what?
Jeremy, what's up, dude?
Get him on the chat, and if he says what's up, he wins the prize.
You just got to guess the longest backhand distance.
Come on,
dude.
Big Jerm.
It's fine.
All right.
But yeah, again, like, this is getting into the headwind. I would expect it to have flipped over a lot more than that.
Look out, floppy duck.
Especially on a sidearm. And yeah, like you said, it came out wobbly, limbo there.
Steve
Came out
likes the
wobbly.
headhunt. He almost hits someone in the face every episode.
That's
Steve
kind of
almost hit
rude.
me there.
That's why you've been replaced.
But again, yeah, I would expect that to have burned out into a roller.
Yeah.
This one I liked. I almost hit that tree branch. I was like, no, it's gonna be such a good shot.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
But yeah, that's thrown flat. I'm not full ripping it because again, it's flippy. I know that.
Sure.
So this is probably like 70%. Throw it, turn, flex out, nice little side. 270. I maxed out on a sidearm probably. I would have said like 320, but then that Cottonwood Falls preview video, I parked a 350 foot.
Oh, jeez.
So
That was a good one.
350 is where I
for
maxed
sure.
out. So 278 with the fairway driver. That's all I want. This is great for those little touchy wood shots.
Yeah. And Steve kind of.
Now, if you do power on it a little too much, it'll flip over like that. But there's a place
You
for
can
that.
see at the end, it got that little hook at the end there.
Yeah.
It
It's still
still
faded
came
back.
out.
So that's
Powered up with the left to right wind.
That's an interesting line. Look, dude, look how much hyzer.
Well, Steve's hard to give him the release because it wobbles out of his hand, and so like, you never
The
quite
frame,
know.
yeah.
Depending
video
on which frame, you
yeah.
never know.
Exactly. Oh, here's a pretty good one.
So I've been throwing this for some fun shots in the woods on a few things, like
Okay.
a little bit of an Anheuser, pop it up, let it flip
There you
up,
go.
and it'll flex on out. So it's the same line as like a backhand hyzer, but it's coming in at a much softer angle.
Yeah.
So instead of hitting like this and skipping, it's
kinda just-
flexing out and hitting soft.
Yeah.
And so it's a touchy shot and tricky to do, but this can actually do that and work some cool angles like that if you have to step out around something or something
Yeah.
like that. Like it's a nice little touchy flick in the woods disc.
And
for
there's
sure.
the burst.
Pretty similar line.
And still with the fade. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 320 with the fairway driver, that's mashing on a flick for me.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's
This is easy distance. I've been recommending this to a lot of people. Like last year when the Shrike came out, we were giving it to everybody. Like, dude,
Okay.
try this disc. It'll add 50 feet to your drive. And it did for pretty much everybody. You didn't have to have a ton of arm speed to really be able to crank that out super far. I think this is the fairway driver version of it.
Yeah.
Like, super
see
easy
that.
to throw straight. It's going to be one of my, like, we need to go back and edit our beginner's disc blog and add this one in there. Because I think this is one of a great beginner driver, but it's got, I'm an advanced player who throws 450,
Yeah.
and this has a place in my bag.
That's what I was talking with Eric McCabe, and I know he said he's going to use it. With the courses here, they're not as tightly wooded as maybe like by you guys, like North Carolina, stuff like that. So it's not something he needs here, but he said if he ever goes to play Maple Hill, something like that, he's going to put one of these in. Eric Oakley's been trying it out for his like rollers. Robert's throwing it. So you don't have to be a beginner. You can be a world champion and throw it still. So
what hole is it at Cottonwood Falls? It's the tunnel shot with like the cars off to the left.
Hole 6 where you're over the creek?
No, it's like hole 12 or
12.
Hole 12.
Up and over the little ridge?
Yeah. Eric put one of these 8 feet away from the basket.
And that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've seen people take 6s and walk away being like, it could have been worse. It could have been an 8.
Yeah.
And he just parked
it. Like, when it went over the hill, we're like, that's pretty good. And we got up there, it was like, oh, that's really good. Yeah. Go ahead and take a look at some comments.
Really good.
So we're going to figure out who wins the stuff. We're going to answer some questions, but I love this disc. I think the numbers are pretty spot on. The fade, you could go back and forth between 1 or 2. Like again, numbers are kind of arbitrary, but I think the 7, 5, negative 1.52 is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Because it has more fade than other discs with those similar numbers. Like Leopard has negative 2, 1. And I think this has more fade than a Leopard.
So our longest throw was backhand Nate, 397.
Yep.
We had someone guess it correctly, but that was after they saw the video.
Seems
so
like cheating.
We go back and we do closest to without going over, like Price is Right rules.
Gotcha.
And looks like the closest guess was backhand 390. Frank Reynolds guessed it. So Frank's going to win one of
that sweet burst special edition Maverick. It's kind of hard to see in the lights, but it is. It's pretty pink with some like orange swirliness to it.
It's like a pink lemonade. I mean, it's got the green stamp, so it could almost just be like a watermelon-y.
There you go.
Something like that. It's sweet. Good job, Frank.
And then comment with your shirt size, because we have this Latitude 64 shirt to give away.
Or guess what size shirt.
Either way. I'm going to give it to the right size shirt. So, Evan, you pick out a shirt size winner there.
We got a couple questions.
Yeah,
let's do Kyle Forrest's Google question. Since we're down here at GBO, he wants to know which pro player, I'm going to say MPO and FPO, do you think is going to win the GBO this year?
Ooh.
Do I have to pick MPO and
Sure,
FPO?
let's do
Let's do both. Because I think honestly,
FPO I feel like is a fairly easy answer. If I only had to pick one,
I
for sure.
I feel like there's an FPO answer that you have to give at this point.
I don't have to give any answer, but the smart money is obviously on Paige Pierce at this point.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna keep rocking with Paige until she loses, like for a year in a row.
Yep.
I feel like it's when Paige loses, it's because Paige did something wrong in a tournament, not because someone outplayed her.
Yeah.
I feel like if she's on her game, there's not anybody in the FPO field that's going to beat her consistently.
She's so good.
Especially on these longer courses out here that she's got an advantage on.
There's a few shots where, or like at Cottonwood Falls.
Cottonwood Falls is where some people who can get her, I think. That's where Sarah Hogan's going to need to make her money at this tournament.
But that's what people thought about Waco. And then Paige shredded in those woods, so...
You know what I say though about Paige? There is a female out there that's a better disc golfer than Paige. She just hasn't started playing disc golf yet.
Well, she has, but maybe she's only like 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there you go. Or so
I think FPO. I think you've got to bet on Paige right now.
How about MPO for you guys?
That's tough. That's tough for sure because the new country club layout is long. So you want to go with
country club layout.
Yeah, have you guys seen it?
It was long before.
It was long. The first hole is like almost 1,200 feet now.
Wow.
Yes.
So the big arms are going to be...
Wow.
Old hole 6, old hole 7, and then like 40 more feet on top of that. It is a big shot.
I need to actually look at that layout now.
Yeah, so with that, you'd be like, oh, it's got to be like Simon. Well, he hasn't played the last couple events. He had a back injury. Is he still going to, is he going to come back and be Simon right away? I don't know. Well, what about Eagle? Well, he didn't play at Waco. It's been a minute. Did he have an injury we didn't know about? I don't know why he didn't play there. So I don't know, man. Then you go, okay, well, it's got to be Ricky. He just won at Jonesboro, but then he didn't do as well at Vintage. I was like, man, there's no standout, clear cut.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all such great, fantastic disc golfers.
Yeah, and then who knows if some Peter McBride Just like a 10-20 person decides to go out and shoot 1070 for the week.
Or some Macbeth who's been struggling the last
Yeah.
couple
Some
months, just
Midwest
finally
locals,
gets
you don't know.
really upset and like
Yeah.
just goes big beast mode on everybody. Like,
Just plays angry golf. And just, So yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
We have a few people chimed in. Some Sean Gruth thinks Eagle might have a run at it.
Eagle?
I think Eagle's going to have to
could
be
see
my
it
pick.
for sure.
I know he wasn't necessarily injured. I know he had to go back. He went back to Colorado and got a car. That's why he skipped out
Did
of
he?
Waco.
Okay.
Like, after he
He's prepping.
After he
He's been
won
ready.
the Memorial, he like said like I'll see like he posted something like I'll see you guys at GBO. It's
Oh,
like he
did
was
he?
planning on not
Okay.
playing. Then he played Jonesboro, I think. So,
It's possible.
but so I'm going to go with Eagle just because until those Dismania guys play bad at a tournament, it's hard to go against them either.
Okay.
Daniel Moore says double G, maybe a little GT.
Double G.
Yeah.
He's been very hot.
been
hot
this
He's been
year.
really
Yeah.
hot lately.
Absolutely.
And a long country club plays to double G's.
Yes. Long. Yes. He throws very far. Very, very far.
But it gets windy in Kansas. And
It
his
does?
putting style is not exactly the
It's
best
not the
windy
most friendly,
putting
but I mean, he was at Jonesboro. He did pretty good there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
if he brought a Sonic, that is.
style. He's going to run out of those soon.
Yeah.
Do they even make those anymore?
they're about to bring him back.
that
if
was
they
a
don't.
that was a great question. Why don't we make that the winner for the
Sure.
what other disc is?
Boom.
Kyle Forrest asked that question. So Kyle.
It's even blue. Kyle likes his red, white, and blue discs. So,
Nice. Good job, Kyle.
boom.
Now then we have we actually the shirt. We have someone that guessed the shirt size.
Perfect.
So
It's a
it
large.
is a large. So Jason Green. Jason Green gets
Our
the
old buddy
large.
Jason Green. All right, any other
Awesome.
questions we want to knock out before we go too far?
Doesn't look like it. It looks like the Maverick's been pretty popular. Some people are saying that's their favorite fairway driver.
Smart.
It's money.
It's a good one.
Josh Wagner says, I think Nate's been drinking a bit too much on the rollers. Looks like a drunk monkey roll on the roller.
Ouch. Ouch. But yeah, you guys always. But yeah, I'm gonna say that again though. Like you guys always ask us if we bag the discs that we throw on the show or not. And again, it was episode 48, and with some of those were doubles, so we've done like 56 discs. And unless I'm rocking Steve Rico's old bag from the early 2000s that held 56
Some old
discs, I
school
couldn't
Feldberg.
throw them all. So, but this is one that I threw it. I took this one out actually for a practice round and immediately bought two for myself. So this disc is great. I'm throwing the crap out of this guy this week. So definitely get yourself a Maverick.
They're so good.
All right, is that everything we need to
Yeah.
talk about? Anything
You
else
got
you
all the
want to
questions?
bring up?
Anthony, you have anything you want to talk about for this GBO week?
I mean, hopefully everyone that's watching is watching like from the course or like from their hotel here in Kansas. 'Cause
For sure.
if they're not, I gotta question
in the
your
wrong place.
viewership here,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah.
don't know why they're not down here or up here.
But yeah, so we're gonna head over to the meet and greet
Opening
and the
ceremony.
opening ceremony stuff. So we'll
If people are at GBO, say hello to us.
yeah, if you're at
Yes.
if
I
you
know.
are our viewers and you're at GBO, be at New Life Christian Church tomorrow for our
Tomorrow
flex
morning.
start.
Yeah.
So check that anytime during the day. We're there 7 to
Let's
3.
throw
You can
that
tee
splash
off.
back up
Yeah.
There we go.
So meet us over there. $20. Play super class event. You get a free aviator. I think it's the Captain America one. Is that the trophy for this year?
We got the trophy here.
Oh,
This thing,
Nice.
let's just hold this up next to a disc.
Jeez.
It's the size of a disc.
It's the size of a
and
small
it
person's
weighs
head.
That's a real
100
good-
pounds.
It's-
I'm very
You're
strong.
strong.
Yes, I'm
He's-
very strong. It's,
He's not
no, it's
joking.
heavy.
That's heavy.
It's heavy for sure. So
Beautiful.
you're gonna see me walking out of here with this thing.
And then check it. We'll also have our tent up at the Fly Mart on Saturday night. So check us out.
Nice.
Say hi. We'll be there. Anthony will be around. Video
I'll be
cameras.
everywhere.
doing
You'll
stuff.
probably see me in this pose or this pose a lot with just cameras.
All right, Reese.
That's
Got a photo bomb of the show once.
All right, thanks for checking us out. This was
guys.
episode 48 of This Disc is Great with Anthony and Nate. Dynamic Discs Maverick. See you guys later.
Rolling.
So-